It's not just in Kenya, it's sent shockwaves across the world. I'm talking to you from London, and it's been almost on all the media platforms here, on social media included. Africa is, of course, reeling from it, but it was just a matter of time, if not when. I mean, it is shocking.
What do we know about Pastor Paul McKenzie?
Pastor Paul McKenzie, I really wouldn't want to call him a pastor. He's just an awful, awful human being. It's not fair to call him pastor, because then it renegates all the other pastors, rather smears their work and their names. So there's so many other people do amazing work within the Christian community, especially the prosperity churches, the few that have done amazing work. Calling him pastor is really not the right thing to do. So Mr. Paul McKenzie, as far as the information that I've seen, he was just somebody who was running a church. But how that church turned out to become a killer machine is everyone's really surprised. How did it end up from him starting it? But apparently he started somewhere in Nairobi, again in a low neighborhood in Nairobi, which tends to be the target group for many of these type of people. And then he moved his operations to this area. What other intention did he have apart from wanting to kill people? I really cannot discern anything different from that. So I don't think we know much more than the fact that he was allegedly a man of God, quote unquote.
Yeah. Were there...
Now that's all I can say.
Yeah. Were there warnings about what was going on in this church of his?
Warnings were there, but I don't think the authorities maybe followed it up. If he was arrested in 2017, where 2 children died as a result of the church activities that he was in charge of, so he was taken to court and he was set free, bailed rather. This is 2017, and that case was never brought to court. But clearly there was enough evidence there to follow up to see what it is that this man is doing. How did these children die? Was there a pattern that was emerging that would have ended up harming nearly 100 people as we speak today? So the signs were all there, but the government did not follow it up. So it only took, concerned citizens getting in touch with human rights organizations in the area for the lead to come off this problem. And I'm so glad they were able to react to it. And one of the organizations I know, based in Mombasa, Haki Africa, they went to the site and got the media and told them this is what's happening. This could easily have been stopped 6 years ago.
Indeed. And now these awful mass graves have been uncovered, nearly 100 people so far. The Red Cross saying there could be up to 200 because they were concerned about many missing people that had just disappeared.
Yes, I mean, people going missing in Kenya is nothing new at all. The fingers used to be pointed at the police, okay? And they, rightly so, because people would turn up and just say, we're the police, we've come here to take so-and-so, and this person would go and disappear. So just a few years ago, hundreds of people were fished out of lakes and safari parks near Nairobi. So people missing is the norm in Kenya. But for people to miss and to be found, to have been involved in a cult and authorities were not aware, that is what is of a concern. We're looking at almost 200 people, did you say? Yep. There could be more because this is a huge forest. How long? And by the time they stop digging, God knows how many more people are going to be exhumed.
It's a tragedy. The Interior Minister says there's going to now be, or this should be, a turning point on how the country handles extremism, religious extremism. Is it something that's common in Kenya that hasn't been taken seriously up until this point?
There has been religious extremism, but the focus has been mostly within the Muslim communities, in relation to terrorism, where Muslim men have been targeted, and the government, through anti-terrorism measures, was trying to do something about it. But this is the first time that perhaps the Christian community has come under serious scrutiny to think that something like this has been going on for this length of time. And I think it's also wrong to call it extremism. I don't know. I don't know whether extremism is the right word here. I've no word to describe this. It is just people. It's a church that has attracted wrong people to it. I don't know.
You're right. It's when extremism has that connection to the Muslim community, but this is more like a cult where people are encouraged to do something that they wouldn't normally in their right minds do.
Absolutely. I mean, what is the state of mind of men who have lured people to their deaths in this way, using the Bible? I mean, this morning, I think yesterday, another chap was arrested for the same reason, who is closely linked to Paul Mackenzie. So it seems that, yes, calling it extremism, I think is missing the mark. We must have to consider whether the church, especially prosperity churches, is it attracting criminal elements to it? Is it attracting people perhaps in psychopathic elements? Nobody in the normal mind would do the kind of things that Mackenzie and now there's another chap called Ezekiel who's been arrested would be able to do this. There's got to be. We also have to consider the mindset of the so-called pastors. That is Mackenzie and now Ezekiel. And how many more are there? So there's a lot more that needs to be looked into. Just saying extremism is a bit of a cop-out, I think.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that his arrest and as you say, more being uncovered leads to exposing this and ending it. Really appreciate your time. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.